Hi. How are you today?
Good. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Yes, ma'am. Me too.
You can have a seat here.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Leah Rainey. I am doing my senior project on pet grooming. I would like to introduce you to Dallas Iannone. We are doing this interview at her Pampered Pet Spa in Ocklawaha, Florida. I would like to thank you very much for joining me for this interview and taking your time out of your day to
You're
do this
welcome.
with me. Okay, first off, I would like to start with my first question. I love small animals. I have had dogs, cats, gerbils. I've had pigs. I've raised chickens, and I've had fish at home too, which didn't last very long in my house. For the pigs that I've raised, I've done it every year in the Southeastern Youth Fair, which has been very much challenging for me, but I'm interested in pursuing a career in pet grooming. And Dallas, my first question for you would have to be, can you tell us what inspired you and made you choose pet grooming as a career?
I've always been interested in pets, and I wanted a recession-proof business. And pet grooming, people love their pets, and they take care of their pets as if they were their children. And so it is a business that you see the same clients over and over again. Generally, it's on a monthly basis. And so that's why I started getting into the pet grooming.
Now, I understand from my research that there are schools for pet grooming. They usually take 9 to 12 months, which is 600 work hours, to complete and obtain a dog grooming certificate. The Maryland Field School of Pet Grooming in Fort Lauderdale, Florida is one, and its tuition is around $12,000. I also understand you can do an online course like Animal Behavior College offers in Santa Clarita. Sorry, next page. Can you tell us what you did to become a pet groomer and how long or what kind of schooling you did in order to get to where you are?
Well, actually, I did not have, at the time I started grooming, I didn't have the time nor the money to go to grooming school, which I would have preferred that, but there's not a grooming school that's actually commuting distance to Ocklawaha, so I am self-taught. I bought books and bought CDs of different groomers and watched, and then just applied what I saw in the videos and just did my grooming. And it's the hard way to do it, but it actually, I learned a lot faster than I would have in school. So I recommend that, and the grooming certificate is not necessary. It's nice to have, but it's not something that is required for pet grooming.
My research has led me to many pet grooming associations like the World Pet Association, the American Pet Association, the American Groomers Association, and Professional Pet Groomers, just to name a few. Can you tell us if you belong to an association and is it necessary in your career?
I am aware there's several associations you can belong to, and I do recommend them. But however, I do not belong to any of the groomers associations. Ocklawaha is a very small town. But belonging to one of these associations, you have more ability to learn and different classes that you can take and other groomers that you could speak to about particular problems you may be having.
So they say we can learn a lot from books as far as dog grooming. One of those, just to name a few, would be One-on-One Dog Care. There's also Complete Guide to Dog Breeds, talking about the breeds of dogs and probably the coats of hair. Dog Grooming Guide. Complete Dog Care. And Dog Grooming for Dummies. Now, did you use any books at all to help you with your learning?
As I said before, I'm self-taught. I did look at various books, and actually I preferred the CDs because it actually showed the step-by-step of grooming. And I looked at a multiple of different groomers because you may like the way some groomers do one thing and the tools they use, and other groomers do something completely different. I probably would have learned a lot by reading Dog Grooming for Dummies. That probably would have been my choice of books.
I've learned that there are many environments that a pet groomer can work in. You can work at a humane society, a rescue organization, pet salons, then kennels, mobile pet units, house call pet grooming. Pretty much what I know. Can you tell us what environments you have worked in and what environment you're currently working in as a pet groomer?
I work in a pet grooming shop, although I do work for Marion County Animal Shelters. They bring the dogs to me so that they can get them groomed for adoption because some of them are so matted and dirty that they can't brush them out. They have to groom or shave the hair off, mostly off. I also go to customers' houses and groom, either because the owners are disabled or the dog is disabled, and usually that's a large dog that's not able to get in the car.
On the financial side of pet grooming, I understand there are many different variations of pay depending on where you choose to work and the type of environment you work in. Do you see any advantages financially to owning your own shop or working for a pet grooming facility?
The income of a groomer varies. Their pay is normally commission, and it's normally a percentage of what the groomer charges for grooming. I charge starting at $35 for your small dogs and go up to $100, and that would be a very large dog getting shaved down or a very large poodle. But it's negotiable. Sometimes it's 50%, sometimes 60%, sometimes 70%. It all depends on whether the groomer provides their own tools and shampoos or if they provide their own clients. And also groomers can work just like a beautician where they pay a rent space. There's a grooming shop and each groomer could pay like a $300 or $400 a month fee for the space and then keep the commissions themselves. I prefer to work for myself because that way I don't have to split my income with anybody. I'm able to keep that all myself, and I'm a very independent person, so I can do things my way and not have someone tell me, what my hours are or what I need to do. So I actually prefer it that way, is working for myself.
In my research, I've read how important physical and mental stamina is, and that it's important to have a pleasant personality type and good communication skills. Can you tell us why this is so important?
I feel that communication skills is important in any occupation that you do, and especially if you're self-employed and running your own business, you need to really be able to communicate with the customers to know exactly what they want. Grooming is, most groomers don't do any of the standard cuts that would be required for AKC for the show ring. It's mostly pet quality haircuts, and any miscommunication with the owner is going to lead to a very unhappy customer. And that's important, especially if you're self-employed or if you're working for someone else, that the owner is happy with your job. A lot of physical stamina because you're standing 99% of the time. You're standing while you work. Because the dog can't always move for you, you have to move to accommodate the dog. And keeping a very confident attitude is important because the dogs can feel that. And if you're confident, they trust you because you're doing a lot of things to them that's very frightening. You know, you have scissors that are very close to the eyes and the nose. And so if you feel like you know what you're doing and you're confident, the dog is going to too. And what I have found is the more angry you get while grooming, because say the dog is moving around a lot or barking or trying to bite you, the more that you get upset, the more the dog does, which even makes it harder to groom.
I understand as a pet groomer, you have to learn a lot about the breed of dogs and about the types of coats that they have. I understand that there are 6 different types of coats. There are the short coat, long-haired coat, long silky coat, curly wiry coat, a smooth coat, or a corded coat. Which coat type is the easiest, and which type of coat is the most difficult, in your opinion, to groom, and why?
The short coat is definitely the easiest because it probably doesn't need a haircut. Although there's a lot of people that want a short haircut dog, even cut shorter. It could have skin problems, could have a flea or tick problem, and so I have done even dogs, you know, like a short-haired Chihuahua, where they actually want it even shorter. And I would say that a corded dog would be the hardest. I have never groomed a corded dog, nor do I really care to, because I can't imagine how you'd even get a comb or a brush through that. This is Paris, and I would say that she's probably the easiest to groom. It would just be a sponge, soap, and water.
My research told me there is some very basic equipment that you need to become a groomer. Things like combs, scissors, clippers, brushes, blowers, a table, etc. Do you feel that there is one piece of equipment that is a must for every groomer, and what might that be?
There's several pieces of equipment that's required for grooming. This is your clippers, which has the detachable blades on them. And you would need probably about 10 different blade lengths, depending on the length of hair you want to cut. A 40 would be your shortest, which is actually like a surgical blade. There's very few places that you would need to do a 40. And then a 3 3/4 would be your longer cut. Also would be scissors, shears, and they're all different lengths. These here are your curved. Actually, you can see that it's got a curve in it that's curved to the dog. You buy a pair of straight ones also. And then you have your thinning shears to thin the hair. And of course your brushes and combs. Toenails are very important, so a pair of toenail cutters. And then you need some kind of hemostats or something for pulling the hair out of the ears, which keeps the ears from staying wet, and also it cuts down on the chances for ear infections.
Well, Miss Dallas, I think you've given me a lot of information that I can use for my senior project, and I would like to thank you very much for taking time out of your day to um, join me in this interview to help me out with my senior project. I really do appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Leah.
Alright, now I would like to thank the audience for watching my video. I hope that you have learned something educational from this, or maybe even taken this, my senior project into mind to further a career in pet grooming. And I would also like to thank the judges and everyone for watching this, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Alright, shall we go groom my dog now?
Yeah, yes.
Alrighty.
All right, thank you. Let's get to work.
This is Keanu. He is, his dog breed is Shih Tzu. This is Dallas, of course, you know her, and she's going to show me how to properly groom a dog for my first time. So this should be fun.
Leah, first we're going to start doing the sanitary clip, and we'll clean and pluck the ears and get the toenails and get the hair that's in the paw pads, get that all done. And once we're all done with that, then we'll go ahead and bathe the dog, bathe Keanu. Okay, let's get started. First we're going to go ahead and cut the toenails. Okay, I'll have you watch me while I do it.
Okay.
This is probably one of the most difficult parts of grooming. The dogs don't like this at all. Get as close to the quick as possible without making them bleed.
Okay.
And I know on Keanu, the quick actually extends a little further than the pink shows, so you got to be very cautious. You can see the little dot.
Yeah.
If I went any further, would bleed. In fact, you could see the little bit of blood coming out.
But it's not.
No, and didn't feel it at all. Doesn't hurt.
Okay. And that's the part that they most hate.
Yeah, yes. They do. It's the most difficult part.
No.
Yes, go gently, baby. There we go. All right, Keanu. Don't forget the dew claws.
Oh.
There we go. Okay.
I didn't even realize that they had the
Dew claws?
yeah.
Some dogs have them in the back too. It all depends on the breeder. Once the puppies
I
are
think
born.
it's not recognizable because he has such long hair.
Once the puppies are born, some breeders have them removed by a veterinarian.
Well, he's being very good so far.
Let it go. Watch out, baby. Watch out. Okay, now we'll start with the back feet.
Oh yeah.
When they're puppies, it's best to remove them because they get them caught in the carpet and can pull them, and it hurts.
So this must be very difficult with a bigger dog. With a bigger dog, would you do you have to restrain them in any kind of way, or is it?
No. There's some dogs, if they show aggression, you'd muzzle them.
Okay.
But maybe 1 out of 300 have I ever had to muzzle.
And none of this hurts them.
No.
Oh.
The reason they're so scared and they dislike it so much is because sometimes groomers have not been careful and have hurt them. Okay. It's our last foot. Yeah, you want to sit down? Okay. Let's see, get a little bit. That means I'm definitely going close enough. As you can see, it didn't even feel anything.
And that one.
Now see, this is that dew claw I was telling you about. You have to be very careful. Okay. Next, we are going to use the clippers with a 40 blade, and we're going to do the paw pads. I'll do one, show you how it's done, and then let you do one.
Okay.
I'm exposing the paw pads.
Okay. And that right there doesn't hurt them at all?
No,
It
but
just feels funny?
it feels funny, but Keanu has an irritated, see the redness in here?
Yes.
It's irritated very easily, so you have to go very lightly.
Okay.
Otherwise it'll get sore. But what we're doing is going to shape